All right, I think we're good to go now. I'm just going to do a quick technology check. Make sure everybody can hear me. Just give me a Y. Type me in a Y if you can hear, and you should be able to see the screen. Good to go? All right. I'll give you 1 or 2 seconds. If you guys have any problems, just let me know. If you need to adjust your volume, you can do it right up here in these toolbars, right up here at the top of the screen. All right, now, I'm glad you guys came here. Some faces, I shouldn't say faces, I should just say names because there are no faces. But I'm glad you came because what I'm going to tell you tonight is going to be awesome, and it's going to change the way that you do things. If you've been following me a little bit on Twitter or social media, or some of you belong to the room in and out, maybe in the past, we're going to talk a little bit about trading with our hedge fund called Clique Fund and how this makes a difference in the success of a trader, or getting a trader to be successful faster and being able to sustain longer term success. Now, we've all heard the stories or the statistics that say, 90% of traders fail. Maybe it's not exactly 90%, but it's definitely a high level of traders that fail. And it's not because that the 90% of these people are stupid and they're not capable of being successful traders. It's because of the approach that most of these traders will take. If you were kind of like me, maybe some of you have been that way when you started. Definitely when I started trading back in 1999, the resources were not the same. Things are not the same. You got a lot of resources that are available to you with things like Twitter and stock twits. Seems like everybody's always doing a webinar now or posting some videos. That stuff wasn't available 15 years ago. But the way people approach the business hasn't changed. And what I mean by this is people don't take enough time to make education a priority, which is crazy. Because when you think about it, if you work anywhere else, or if some of you have a career or any job that you have, just about every one of them, even if it's like McDonald's, they have a training program. So when you go to work there, you find a mentor, they assign you a manager or a mentor, you work under this person. They'll show you the ropes, show you how business is supposed to be done, and they kind of nurse you into the position. They don't just kind of throw you to the wolves the first day you're there and just say, here's what you do, write it down on a piece of paper, and then you're off on your own. For us as traders, that's how most of us actually get started, which is crazy considering how much money is on the line and how many things can go wrong in the course of a day. It's amazing, even after all of these years, how many people fail to educate themselves. Not just educate, but educating themselves the right way. And as I said, if you follow the traditional route, each and every one of you have come into this business probably either by reading an article, or a friend maybe turned you on to trading, or and you watch the CNBC, you read the Wall Street Journal. Trading sounds interesting. Maybe you bounce around social media, you see a couple of pictures of people's Ferraris and mansions. You're like, hey, this is the lifestyle I want to live. Then you dive right into it and you realize there's a lot more than just hot stock picks. There's not a holy grail that comes with trading. There's a lot of different variables that you have to take into consideration when you enter a trade and so on. And when people enter this business, as I said, they don't take enough time to educate themselves, and that's why they end up failing, is because there's more than just hot stock tips and such that make you successful. You're going to have to learn a few things in order to sustain that success. The other reasons people have trouble is, as I said, you kind of start out, you follow the normal route. You might see the commercial on TV like a TD Ameritrade or Scottrade or one of the bigger retail brokers. One of the downfalls that you will have by using a traditional broker, of course, is commissions. In most cases, unless you're trading a lot of shares with them and you have an established account, most of the time you're going to start out roughly at about an average of $7.99 to $10 per trade. So if you have a smaller account and you're just dabbling into the market with, say, 100 shares, you're going to pay $10 on average with most of these brokers to make that trade. And then, you're going to have to pay the 10 bucks when you sell that trade. Now, if you're a day trader and you're doing high frequency trading or you're going in and out of positions quickly, if you trade 100 shares, you would need a 20-cent move, right? You would need 10 cents to pay for the trade and 10 cents when you sell the trade just to cover the cost of your commission. So you actually need 20 cents of a move in order for you to make just to break even on that trade. And you know, if you think about it, sometimes stocks don't even move 20 to 30 cents or maybe 35 cents in a certain direction at one time. So if you're doing high frequency trading or you're trying to take advantage of smaller, quicker moves, using a retail broker like that is going to hinder you because your fees and your commissions are going to get in the way of you making money. The other thing is when you sign up with these brokers, as you know, when I mentioned education, you're not giving an education, you're not getting one. I mean, some of them will offer you a base webinar, but you don't have anybody who's a personal contact. These places are so big, it's like customer service with almost any large corporation. Sometimes your calls get rerouted to India or something. You just don't have somebody that can sit there and help you understand what it takes to become a professional trader and what it takes to succeed, not in just today's environment, but what about when the environment changes in a bull market, a bear market, or a sideways market. And more importantly, you're never educated on that risk management. There's not a lot of risk management tools that are made available. So for example, when we talk about risk management, when you start out with trading, the focus that you have as a trader is most aligned with what? Money, right? Everybody wants to make money. That's why you come into this job. So when you look at a stock, the first thing that you're thinking about is how much am I going to make? And sometimes you think, well, if it moves X amount of dollars in my direction, I'm only going to make a few bucks, so I need to go heavier. Or this person is trading 2,000 shares or 5,000 shares, and you're starting to make these trades, and you don't have any idea of the risk that you're taking. And it certainly worked for me that way, and I'm sure we've all been through it, no matter how successful you are now or how successful you intend to be in the future. We've all been through that period where you have the revenge trade, right? Where you get into a trade, it turns out really bad, and the next thing you're thinking about is making that money back. So you just dive right back into the trade or another trade, and you go 2 times as heavy, and you don't have any sort of risk management. Now the downfall about this, as I'm saying, or the problem, is that everybody knows they should have some sort of risk management. But all of this stuff is left on your lap, right? When you sign up for your brokerage account, they're not training you on how to be a trader. When your risk management and you're doing several different things that might seem out of character or trading heavier sizes, you don't have someone there that says, hey, wait a minute, what are you doing right now? You know, what kind of trades are you taking? Why are you down so much? You know, we should turn off your account to save you from yourself, right? They don't do that. Your retail brokers, or most brokers, have gone with the route of being like a casino, right? So like you go to a casino, you sit down at the table. If you start losing a lot of money and throwing a fit, nobody's going to stop you. They're going to let you continue to lose money until you run out of money. And that's how a lot of people end up doing it, is once they learn how to trade, they've already liquidated their accounts, right? Also, another thing that we look at with this as well is borrows. Have any of you ever run into trouble trying to find borrows, especially on cheaper stocks like $5 stocks or $10 stocks? A lot of these smaller, really great opportunities to short sell stocks, you can't borrow with certain brokers like a TD Ameritrade. They don't want you borrowing stocks under $5 or under $10. Most of those kind of brokers don't offer shares anyway, because the majority of their customers, it came out a couple of years ago that Scott Trade did this study, that more than 95% of their customers had never shorted a stock before. So there's no reason for them to really make shorting a priority or get shares for you. But for day traders or successful day traders, shorting is something that you will need to learn. You don't necessarily have to do it, but you're going to need to learn how it works in order to understand how you should be buying stocks. But a lot of these brokers don't offer you any kind of shares or enough shares to borrow of certain stocks. And some of you might be as well under the PDT rule. Does anybody know what that is or what I'm talking about? It stands for pattern day trading. If you aspire to be a day trader, and that's what you want to do with your life, the SEC requires you to have $25,000 in your account at all times. Again, this is a SEC rule. It's a stupid rule. It's ridiculous. It doesn't help the customer like they say it's supposed to. It doesn't protect the client. But it's a rule that's been there for a while. Probably one of the ones that really needs to be changed. But if you don't have that kind of money, you can't day trade. So sometimes people, when they want to start out day trading, they don't have enough money to even start. They're not well capitalized. So when you're looking at trading, as we kind of go through this real quickly, not only is there a lot of disadvantages when you come into the trading business, and this is where it gets a bad name in my opinion, trading is not as hard as it's made out to be. You know, the reason that people fail, as I said, is because they don't properly educate themselves, you know, on how to find the right stocks to trade, when you should be in a position, when you should be out of a position, and so on. In addition to that, you have all these other nuances and factors like excessive commissions and fees, nobody to help you with risk management, not getting the right borrows on stocks that you should, and sometimes just being underfunded. So when you look at day trading, or just trading in general, these are the things that work against you that a lot of people just don't know about. They just sort of, you know, kind of go right. If you're like me, you know, I usually learn things the hard way, unfortunately. It's just all out, right? I don't know if any of you have that kind of personality. You just want to do it, and then when you get it in your mind that you're going to do it, you just go for it, right? You just like open up an account, throw a few grand in it, and you know, start watching Mad Money or CNBC, say, oh, I like that story, I like that stock, and then you pick the stock. But you don't have any, you know, any thought process going into that other than maybe a little bit of research. You don't have maybe an entry strategy, an exit strategy, a management strategy. What happens if this scenario takes place, or this scenario? When will you cut your losses? What would be a loss? You know, so these are all the things that work against you. So why you're here is we're going to talk about the fund here. And when we thought about putting this thing together, the question was, what if there was a way to take our strategies and the consistency that we've had in the markets over the last 6 or 7 years? What if we were able to take that, you know, and teach people how to do that strategy? And then once they learned how to do it, we would provide you with the money to trade on, rather than you have to go somewhere else. But what if you could get the education? Because we feel like if you could be educated and you could learn how to make these trades, how to manage your risk, then you could have consistency in the market, you could make money, then we would be able to provide you with as much, pretty much as much capital as necessary for you to start trading on. So that's the premise behind the Clique Fund, is to get traders, teach them the strategies, and then fund them along their career. And this is an important thing because, as I said, the education is so important that it's important that you start out doing it, because one of the downfalls is if you start out and you grenade an account. Maybe some of you have already been there. You've blown up an account. You've taken some heavy losses. It's almost like a child. You know, if you don't teach a child how to talk for 4 or 5 years, they'll never gain the skills to be a competent communicator. It'll be much more difficult. Your trading career is like that too. If you start out by developing bad habits, making bad decisions, panicking, chasing stocks, doing the wrong things, those will be behaviors that you know, I won't say never. I went through that. It took a while for myself to kind of break some of that. But you may have a very hard time trying to get rid of those habits. So once you actually learn how to do what you're supposed to do, and you learn how to find stocks, and you learn how to trade, you might not even be able to do it because you're so psychologically messed up that you just can't you just can't bring yourself to do it. Now, you don't have to admit it, but I'm sure some of you might be at that point where, you know, trading has drained you. and it's like taking your ego and put you in a whole different level and just like run you down. So you got to think about doing that. Now with our fund, as I said, not only are we training you, but you get to you get to trade with our money, and you get to keep the profits. Usually when someone starts out, we start you anywhere from $25 to $50,000 of instant capital at your disposal to trade whatever you want. Yes, we teach you our strategies, but you don't have to use them. If you have something that's working for you, or you want to take the strategies and make a variation, then feel free to do that. But you have that $50,000 available to you instantly. And if you prove, one of the good things is that your account is reviewed every week after week. So once you've shown that you have a level of consistency, the fund will give you up to $250,000. Because from our view, we want you to trade. That's what we want you to do, because what's in it for us is the commission. The client, the commission staying on the books. It's in our best interest to have you be successful, because if you're not successful, then we don't make any money at all. So we want to give you money, and we want you to be wildly successful, and we want to teach you something that you can take with you forever. Also, you're looking at a very, very low rate of commission. So when we kind of go back and we look at comparing what trading with a fund can do for you versus trading with a broker, when we talked about commissions, when you're going with the regular broker, as I mentioned, you might have a $10 commission in and out, $20 for 100 shares. How much easier would it be if you only paid 27 cents for your trade? For 100 shares, you paid 27 cents. Could you guys see the difference? So if a stock were only to move 10 cents or 12 cents in your direction, you could actually profit off of that smaller move rather than having to wait for it to move 30 to 40 cents. So you can see that just by that alone, how much easier trades could be to win on. What better position that puts you in as a trader in, and what more flexibility that you have. The other I mentioned was risk management. Going with the regular broker, they're not really thinking about you. You're not in there. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Risk management is important. With us, not only do we teach you what we know, but your account in the beginning is constantly monitored. So when you start to lose money, you're going to get a phone call. And it's not going to be a bad phone call. It's not going to be say, hey, jerk, stop losing my money, before I come over to your house and shake you down. It's more about finding, hey, what's wrong? What are you doing? What can we do to help? Send me your trading journal. Let's take a look at what you've got going on, and maybe we can fix it. Because the way we look at it, and from all of the studies that we've done, is that if you start losing money to a certain amount, a couple of $100, or when the average trader loses $200 to $300, they don't make it back that day. They usually end up giving that back and then revenge trading, like I said. Then they go right back into the market. They go into a stock just out of sheer revenge, wanting the money back, and they turn that $300 loss into an $800 loss, into a $2,000 loss, and then the tempers start flaring, you get angry, maybe some stuff gets broken in your house. And as I said, if you're trading with an Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, or any of those other kind of outfits, nothing against them, but they're not calling you on the phone. That's not their job. Their job is just to that's it. Their job is just to provide you with an account to trade on. If you blow up, that's on you, man. That's on you. For us, no, you're trading our money, and we want you to be successful. So we have these risk management tools in place to help you. So when you start losing money, you're going to get a phone call. When you lose after a couple of days, we're going to turn your account off for a day or two and put you back on a paper trading account, because we just want you to get yourself under control. We don't want to stop you from trading it. We do want to stop you from trading, at least until you get yourself under control, because these are put in place to make you survive. And as I said earlier, one of the things that we do, and maybe some of you have been in this position, one of the things that we often do is we learn the hard way. And in my case, I can only speak for myself. That's how it was for me. Is that by the time I learned how to trade, I'd already lost all my money. I didn't have any more. So I had to stop trading, save up money, and get a job, and then come back to trading a year or two later, because I went that route rather than getting the education and having a mentor up front. I just went in winging it, reading Wall Street journals, looking at the paper. Back in my day, the paper, just your regular newspaper, had a lot of stock information in it too. CNBC. You take advice, but you don't. Some of the stocks looked good, they turned out good, but you didn't have an exit strategy, so it got bad. And nobody was there to stand in the way and say, look, take a break. Market's going to be open forever. There's always a tomorrow. Just chill out right now and let's fix it. And let's start nursing our way back in. And as I said, that's a really tough thing, is because by the time some of us learn to trade and we figured this game out, we no longer have any capital. So what we want to do is provide you with longevity first, and then, of course, capital second. Also with us, borrows. We have just about every single stock, from penny stocks, micro cap stocks, big board stocks. So many of our clients short that we just have about every type. I mean, some of the most stingiest stocks to borrow, we usually have an adequate amount of them always available. And if you don't, there's only maybe 2 to 3% of the time that you would ever run into a situation where there were no borrows. So if you like to short stocks, you especially like to short penny stocks or OTCs or cheaper stocks, you're going to have to leave a regular retail broker. You're not going to be able to effectively use that strategy with a Scottrade. It's just not going to work. Again, nothing against Scottrade, but that's not what they're in business for. That's not the kind of the clientele that they're looking for. They're looking for retail traders, people that work, throw a couple of trades here and there. That's the business they want. We want people who want to bank. We want people who want to become professional traders, who want to leave their jobs, who are looking for a career, people who are in this job really, really want to succeed, but they haven't figured out how to succeed. Those are the kind of people that we want, and we want to build the right habits with them, teach them how to trade, give them the money to do it, and send them on their way. And the better that you do, the better the better deals that will give you on down the road. And of course, PDT. Some of you might be suffering from this because you don't have 25,000 and you can't. With us, you don't need it. We're giving you the money to trade on, so you can do whatever you want. Pretty much. I shouldn't say whatever you want, but you can trade as often as you want, in and out as many times as you want. You'll never have to worry about that PDT rule. So when you think about it, this is when you're I want to just talk a little bit about the education real quickly, because to me it's the most important thing, because there are several different areas, especially today, where you can get education. And to me, showing your results as a trader doesn't really tell the story of what kind of training somebody can, how they can benefit from you. Sometimes people are just naturally good traders and they make a lot of money, but they can't tell you crap, right? They just don't know how to read. And sometimes in our certain stages of our career, early, we're like that. When I started making money many years ago, I couldn't tell you how I was doing it. It really wasn't sinking in. It was just a switch from terrible to good, and it was just like a really slow process. But I really couldn't explain. After being in the game for 15 years and starting out as a loser who, and when I say loser, if some of you got a chance to look at some of my background bios on the website, I'm not going to go in detail with it, but I lost like $160,000 my first year at trading. It took every dime I had. And, I come back, I lost money again, and finally had to borrow money from my girlfriend after a year and a half hiatus to get an account opened up. And on the third time is when I finally made money. So I know exactly what it feels like to be a loser. And we're really hard on ourselves as traders. And I know what it's like when you sit there and the best word I could use is helpless. You're sitting there and you feel like everything you do is the absolute worst. It's wrong. Like the moment you do something, it's going to turn against you. And that happens so many times that it turns on you and becomes a negative. Like I said, building the right habits. Is that, you guys ever felt like that before? Like you look at a stock and you really want to buy that stock and you're like, oh, it's going to break out, it's going to break out, it's going to break out. I know it's going to break out, but you're so chicken. You're so chicken to buy the thing because you're afraid, oh man, if I buy it here, it's just going to dump like the last one did. It's going to stick me with a debt and I'm screwed. And then you don't do it. And the next thing you know, it does break out. It does do what you said. And now you're even more angry because you didn't have, let me say, the nads to do it. Because, and it's nothing wrong. It's just sometimes your confidence gets shaken like that. I know what it's like to be that way. And then I know what it takes to actually get through that. And from my trading, the way I've built my business, my trading business, is consistency. It was always about consistency and, yes, per share. It was always about building consistency and never taking large risks. So the first thing I did was trade small. And the reason I got my results up here, this is for the last 2 years, almost 600K. Definitely not the largest you've ever seen. But I got a few things circled to show you what I'm talking about because a lot of people say that it can't be done. These are all verified third-party results, but if you look at it, 75% win rate on trades. And look at the gains. Out of this 600 grand or so, the average win is only $190. Only 190 bucks. So it's not like you're looking at trades that you're banking 5 grand, right? Or $3,000. It's not like you're, hitting it hard, because if you're making 5 or 10,000, you're going for it like that, you're also losing. You're also losing that much. You're having those violent swings. So even if you look at the average loser, it's only 125 bucks. You can see these numbers are very, very modest, which means that, you can trade on a small account with small money and turn around and make big profits. It's just a system of doing it repetitively over and over again. You can see some of the other max winning trades, up to 33 straight winners on the short trades and 21 on long. So the consistency is there. You can build that kind of consistency with your trading. And that's what I think I've learned. If you don't do anything from this point on and you just we never meet again, always remember that it's not about making money. It's about making good trades. If you get up every day and you make good trades, you take calculated risks, you trade as if every trade you're going to get into is going to be a bad trade, it's not going to work, then you're going to last a long time in the business. You're going to take smaller wins, but you're going to be consistent. You're not going to have those wild swings. You're not going to be affected by drama, and things are going to work out better for you in the long run. What we're trying to do from our end is teach people this is a good way to run your business. Now, certainly if you have something that's working for you, please don't change it, because, as I said, it's hard enough to make money in the stock market to begin with. To just kind of, you don't want to throw away something that's actually working and try something else. You just want to enhance it each and every day. But you want to build that consistency, and that's what we're looking for, is to build long-term commitments with traders who want to be successful and who are really committed to the process of being successful and are looking to get to that next level. That's what we want. That's what we think is the best kind of individual. If that's something that fits you and that's where you want to be, then we'll do what we can to help you get to that next level. So I'm going to open it up here. You guys have any questions about the material that I talked about at all? You just have your standard commissions, and then there is a $6 a day platform fee. No ECN fees. Zero point zero zero zero. A lot of zeros. Yeah, sure. You you can do your account in two different ways. You can do it with no fees, with no SEC, FINRA, ECN fees, or you can do it with them. I don't want to confuse most of the people, but the only difference is if you're good at adding liquidity. You guys know what I'm talking about. Some of you probably, if you're asking the question, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you're good at that, then go with that route. But for 99.9% of the people, that's not gonna work for them. They're not doing that. Um, but if that's something that you're I don't do it that way, but I do know some people that really make an effort to add liquidity and get rebated ECN fees. Um, if you do it that way, then they'll give you the rebate. They'll give you the rebate if that's the way you want to do it. Yes, Ben, there is a recording. I got you covered, man. I got you covered. Now, the training works like, first of all, I should say something. The training also gives you access to our live trade room. So I'll kind of explain it to you. First, you you watch a series of videos about basics and everything. And then you have to take a quiz to make sure that you understand. It's basic things on how you use your platform. It only takes a couple of days. If you're aggressive, you can actually do it in a single day. We recommend 2 to 3 days. Um, but you go through that training, and then once you pass that, the account's turned on for you. We kind of recommend, I'm not a big fan of paper trading, but we kind of recommend you just take a few days to, that's okay, I'll get to those questions in a second. You take a few days to kind of understand how the platform works, use the paper account. Then once you feel pretty good, and then you're then you're off to trading. Now, what we like you to do is when you do start trading, even I recommend my students to come into my trade room, just start out with 50 shares. Just you just want to trade, you want some skin in the game, but you don't want to go overboard until you've developed a level of consistency. Each week we monitor what you're doing. If you need to talk to us, we'll talk to you. We don't charge you money for consultations. All that stuff's included. You need to get in touch with me. You need to call me on the phone. We'll talk about your journal. We'll talk about your trades. Um, but you have access to the live trade room, which is really similar to what you're looking at right now, except for I'll have my trading screen up like this, you know, and I'll be making trades on screen, talking to you vocally like I am right now. And I think that's what helps because it's ongoing training. So every day, I'm telling you, hey, I'm going to buy, I'm going to short this SISM at this price with the stop up here because this is a certain kind of pattern that maybe you watched in the video, a certain kind of setup. Here's my target. I'm going to look at these areas. And then it's constantly going back and re-following up with that trade. Well, the trade's kind of changed. And the reason I do that is because you get to see, the reason we're doing it on screen is you get to see exactly what I'm going through every day. What's different on here for those that are part of the room, we've got scanners going on that are free for you, free scanners. So, no, you don't have to pay for the chat room. It comes with the account. So you're seeing how we find stocks. We have a pre-market meeting where we talk about stocks we're going to trade. A game plan. We put a game plan together. Then we trade the stocks. We talk about why we're trading stocks. And at the end of the day, after we're done, I'm available for about 1 hour. If you just want to BS about stocks you took, we can go back and review patterns, whatever that you want to do, but it's there for you to use. Now, you don't have to come into the chat room, but it's available for you at any time, any day that you want to come in. Yeah, you can. If you guys want to send me an email, here's my email address. Service at the Lincoln List. So, no problem. When we're doing the education, that's what I want you to understand. It's not just about, hey, here's how you trade some stocks. As I said, I'll be straight up. Because a lot of people will tell you, or you get the appearance that trading is really easy. Trading is not easy. That's what I thought. It's easy. You find there's a holy grail out there, like an indicator that's just going to clean all this stuff up. No, because there's so many variables. Like, you know, when we did our Champ Camp class, we did a study that's 19 things that we do. 19 things we do before making a trade. And these things happen within a split second. I mean, there's 19 things that you're going through looking at a trade. You know, from the time you're scanning it, picking your point, adjusting your stops, figuring out how much risk you're willing to take, where's your targets, your backup plan if it doesn't work, add points. You know, there's so many things that go into that. It sounds complicated, but it becomes second nature. But it takes you time to learn how to do that. And as I said, when you're going into a regular brokerage account, that's the problem. You don't have those tools. You can watch as many webinars as you want. You can study as many chart patterns as you want. But, you know, nothing beats real world trading. Unless you got skin in the game and you putting paper on the table, you're not going to learn. That's the only way you're going to learn. And you're going to have to take some bumps and bruises along the way. But but if you really want to be wealthy and you want to make a lot of money, that's what you got to do. You know? So what we want you to do is, while you're learning or when you're struggling, we don't want you to grenade your account. We don't want you to be out of business. We want you to stay. We want you to know what survival mode's supposed to be like. How you're supposed to act when you win, how you're supposed to act when you lose, how you're supposed to act when you're surviving. What's the best time of the day you should be trading stocks? Should you be trading stocks at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? Is that really a good time? Is 2 a good time? And when should you be looking at stocks? When's the best time for you to make money trading stocks? You know, all those things are what we teach you. How to find the hot stocks, whether you should be buying an earnings play, how to read earnings reports, you know, things that you need to know to be successful. And it's ongoing. As I said, with access to the chat room, you guys can come in and out often as you want. Spend every day with us. I'm here all day. It's like a 7-hour webinar every day. I'm just showing you my trades. I'm trading on screen. We got other people in the room. We're talking about ideas. That's going to help you get to the next level. Now, to answer the back questions, the platform is customized. It's using app trade, APP trade. You do have direct access level 2 available for you. Super fast execution on your trades. Now, the data, there's not real, I would say that the chart data slows you down a little bit. You would be better off, like most people, or the way I'm doing. I don't know if you guys are doing it this way, but Thinkorswim, hands down, has probably the best charts. You guys use Thinkorswim? The cool thing about Thinkorswim is they don't charge. If you can put like $50 in your account. I actually know people that have like $1. You know, put a couple of hundred in their withdrawal. They don't charge you a fee for dead money. So if you got a couple of $100 or something, you put it in here. They got really great charts, a really good. It's just great watch list, great organization, great looking charts, great features with their charts, but they have horrible commissions, terrible commissions, and no borrows. So what most of us have done, I know most traders I know, use this platform. You put a couple bucks in there, you open it up, and then you just stuff your orders through Interactive Brokers or a Click Fund or whoever you're using. You just run your orders right through them because these charts are pretty nice. And you can use ours, but I think this is better and more high tech. Okay. Did I get those questions? Did I leave anybody out? I think I scrolled up and got them. Yeah, you won't have any data fees. So it's really that's the key. It's really it's inexpensive. As I said, if you're day trading, now is the, let's see here. Let me put this up. You're really getting low with only like 27 cents a 100 shares. And you don't need much to make money. You only need like a dime. You only need a dime dime move, a nickel move to make any money. You don't need 20 or 30 cents. Not that you won't get 20, 30 cents, but that money you save on commissions is your money. And the training fees depend on the level that you go. No, you can trade whatever you want. 1 share, 50 shares, 100 shares, 1,000, whatever. No, you cannot trade options yet. No options. That should be added in the next 30 days, but no options. Well, Peter would always be better than me about the technical stuff because he created it. He's the Iron Man, right? I'm the other guy. I'm the other guy. So, getting down to more of it, yes, yes, John, yes, what? Why, thank you, John. I am. Well, I hope I'm down to earth. And it really depends on the trading strategy that you want to use. Yes, it is available. I mean, see, all of this stuff that hinders people, commissions, living outside of the U.S., excessive fees, we've eliminated all of that. We've made it easier to get started as a trader. Either you don't have 25,000, even if you had the 25,000, they don't need that to trade with us. You save your money and go buy something else, and then use capital to trade. You know, um, and as I said, it depends on who can teach you and what you're trying to learn. For me, I went the route of big money. When I started out, I traded thousands of shares at a time, and I would make 7 grand and lose 7 grand, make 7 grand and lose 7 grand, and it's like nerve-wracking and drama and stress. You like sweat. I know you guys have been there, right? You're sweating over your positions. You keep looking at them. You're freaking out. You're walking around the house. You can't eat. Your stomach aches. I can't do it this way. There's got to be another way. And the way is to stop chasing money. It's weird. It sounds weird. But when you really think about it, there can't be anything more correct about trading than the statement, it's not about making money, it's about making good trades. You know? It's about making good trades. If you make good trades, the money's going to show up. The money will definitely be there. It's just a product of doing the right thing. If you do the right thing, or you try to do the right thing in most cases, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So, sure. If you want to get started, though, I should say, as some of you start to go in and out, send me an email, service@thelinkedinlist.com. I'll give you all the details, the final details to get started. I'm going to be doing a training class for all the new Clique and Rollies, that are coming up in the next week or two. Usually it's by video. I want to do it a little bit more personal this time and do a webinar series like this so we can get everybody on the same page at the same time rather than people just coming in and out and scattering. I mean, if you just want to watch the videos, you got some trading background, you're just looking for an account, okay, I'll provide you with an account. But if you're struggling, you need help, you're looking for a new direction, you're trying to go to another level, you're tired, you think this thing can work, you want to be like some of those people where it does work, you need to make changes. You know, even if it's slightly uncomfortable, you need to make changes. Oh yeah, I'll send everybody a recording of it. Yeah. Thank you for coming. I was wondering where everybody was at, but I messed up on the link. You don't have any data fees. You don't have any of those fees. We don't want you paying fees. We want you making money. I did mention earlier you can choose to pay fees if you're somebody that likes to add liquidity through ECN, but most people don't do that. But if you fit that bill, we can make that work. So the way that it works to finalize it, you have two different levels of accreditation where you deposit the fee. The $2,500 starting capital gives you $25,000 of initial buying power. As I said, we're going to change this to 3 days live over the 6 hours worth of video. I mean, if you have to do the video because you want to get started right away, we can do that. But I'd like to start doing a little, you can always take that and then come back to the live sessions too. All the rest of the stuff is included, and I think the most important thing is as well as the access to the live room. That's like every day of training, and that comes with it. So as long as you're doing business with us, I'll do what I have to do to make you successful and take whatever I've learned along my 15 years, good and bad, I'll share it with you. And of course, if you want to do a little bit more buying power, you can go up to 5,000, but most people start here. So you don't need the full amount. Now it covers the cost of training, and then the account is yours. A GoFundMe page. You can use a credit card. That's really getting down to it, huh? Start with a credit card. We got to fix you up then, John. We got to make you a trader. We got to teach you the ways. No, we're not doing Forex at the moment. No. The only fees, I don't know if you oh, yeah, I'm getting an echo. Make sure somebody's mic's not on. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of feedback. I don't know where that's coming from. It's delayed too. Make sure you guys check your mics. So somebody's on. Give me a second. I'm turning everybody's mic off because I don't want to hear myself talk. That's really annoying. I'm listening to my voice like, that guy sounds weird. Okay. No, there's no month. The only thing you're paying is the commissions and $6 a day tech fee. Now, once you pay the $2,500, that goes into the education. Once you pass the education, you are given $25,000 to trade on. Here's what works well is as you progress and you do well, and we're reviewing your account every week, your buying power is going to increase. Yeah, we gotta get rid of this feedback. Make sure everybody checks their mic, like if you're on a phone. Did we get rid of it? Huh. I think I got rid of it. Okay, that was better. All right, what I was saying is, you're never required to put any more funding in. So as you progress as a trader, they'll increase your limit all the way up to 250,000. You never have to pay for any more education, put any more money in. You never have to come up with any more funds, which is really a sweet deal because you can't do that anywhere else. If you want to trade with an account, they're going to have, they want to give you more buying power. They want more money, or you have to leave more money in your account. You would be fired, but that's hard to do with us on top of what you're doing. I mean, that usually happens when somebody finally gets the handcuffs taken off. Like, okay, we're going to stretch your limits out, and then you do something crazy, because in the beginning, your account is limited to the usually about $300 the first week or so of losses. So you can't lose 300 bucks, or they're just going to, you're done for the day. Because they want you, again, they want to, it's sort of like a process. You're learning, you're trading, we want to see results. We want to give you money, but we don't want you, to start out it's $300. When you start out the first week, it's 300 bucks. After that, it goes up. And that all depends on you, the trader, how well you're doing. If you're doing well, they'll increase that limit faster. They'll increase their daily loss limits, depending on how you trade and what you're doing. But really, for the first week or two, it's just showing consistent results, even if it's just small. You know, even if you're making 50 bucks a week, if it's consistent, that's all that matters. Because we know all you have to do is just increase the amount of position sizing. You don't have to do anything different about your business. That's where a lot of people go wrong with their trading. When they want to make money, they think, I just have to take more risk. You don't have to take more risk. You just need to keep doing what you're doing that works and just slowly increase your position size and build that up, and then you're good. You can't hold short positions overnight. It won't let you hold short positions overnight. You can hold longs. You can trade with keyboard. It's got hotkeys. Yeah, I was hoping Peter was going to show up. He didn't get in touch with me, but he would show you the platform. It's really like it's all like a level 2 screener. You know, you got your level 2 up. You can just stick it in there, but you can set it up however you want using hotkeys. It's super fast. Like it is really, really. No, it's a little bit different. It's like it's app trade. It's different. It's a good setup. It's really good to get. It's really fast to get orders in. Bid and ask prices are a lot different than what you see on retail accounts. Order execution is lightning fast. It's a really nice setup. If you want speed, that's speed. And shares. Well, you know, technically you can take your money out whenever you want. There's no withdrawal fees, but we'd like you to do that on the first or the 15th. Makes accounting easier, but you know, if you made some money and you won it because you're going out to party, it is yours. We will give it to you. You got to have that party money. I can't deny you the partying money. Well, we can start you out at 99 to 1, which means you get 99% of your profits. And then we can slowly, yeah, 99% of the profits. And then that slowly works its way down to 90-10. Now, they don't have options trading right now. That's something that will be implemented pretty soon. I'm going to ask him a question right now on email about the options. You get 25,000 to start. So how it works, just a quick overview again. Is it 2,500, you get 25,000 to trade on. None taken, I'll tell you in just a second. I just lost my thought. Okay, I'm back on my thought. I'm on Hugo's question here. Okay, you get to 25,000 buying power. And as I said, you get $300 a day that you're allowed to lose. You know, and of course that we're monitoring it. So if you lose 300, we're gonna cut you off for the day, let you get yourself back together. If you do that a couple of days in a row, and we're gonna get on the phone. We're gonna have a conversation. As I said, it's not a bad conversation, but we want to try to get you back on track. And that's what I'm saying is the best thing about it. It's like, we're roping you in. Like, hey, you're going to get a call from me saying, look, man, you got 3 days of losses. You're losing some money here. Show me what you're doing. Let's take a look. Let's go through it. Let's fix it. And then we kind of work together to fix that. You know, so you get going. If you're making money, then we just continue to increase your buying power, and you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to come up with any money. Now, what's in it for us, of course, is the more clients we have, it's just like any broker, commissions. We spend money in commissions, we get paid some commissions, plus the 10% of your profits. For us, the deal is different, where, and this is important, where a retail broker doesn't take any of your money that you earn. They charge you an obsessive amount of commissions because that's all they want. They just want you to trade. They don't care how you do. For us, we do, because we want successful traders. So when this business was started, the thing was, if I provide you with capital and I teach you, so if you guys would agree, if I teach you my strategies, and I show you how to become a professional trader, you make $150,000 to $200,000 a year for the next decade. I'll make 10%. That's a fair trade, right? If I can teach you how to make $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year, 10%. So in order for that to work, I need to make you successful. That has to be a priority. Otherwise, I'll get a few pennies here and there from your commission, but it's not going to be worth the time that's put into the education and the rest of the stuff, and all the training that you got to do. That's the goal, is that we want to build a team like most prop firms. We want to build a team of successful traders.